Back pala balik ko na sa boy, sabi boy yun. Back pala balik ko na sa boy, sabi boy yun.
I'll be coming soon, but they rush me, I be down and I like making money. When you're my move, I'm getting honey. I dey call you, you dey call for me. I dey call you one day, need to pick up, I go show you shake it. This is so tight, so wet, so clean. I stop all of my G. Gang, 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 gang. We want yeah, 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 yeah. We are not saying bang, 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 bang. Check it out, till like yeah, yeah, yeah. Why you man? Gang, gang, gang. We want yeah, 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 yeah. We are not saying bang, 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 bang. Check it out, till like yeah, yeah, yeah. Push my body, dance for me. You're spy batting all the dark. Many people know me shy. I like when they call me sir. I'ma to show you back. Gang, 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 gang. We want yeah, 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 yeah. We are not saying bang, 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 bang. Check it out, till like yeah, yeah, yeah. Why you man? Gang, gang, gang. We want yeah, 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 yeah. We are not saying bang, 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 bang. Check it out, till like yeah, yeah, yeah. Jelly, jelly, when you back and pay. Taruto is the type of pepper with the money. On my love that's keke. Oh, this girl so fine, my baby. Roll it down, baby, start to the cruise body pain up and down. When I start to the move for my head, for my neck, for my shepherd. Ooh, ju, baby, jeje, sorry boy. Gang, 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 gang. We want yeah, 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 yeah. We are not saying bang, 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 bang. Check it out, till like yeah, yeah, yeah. Why you man? Gang, gang, gang. We want yeah, 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 yeah. We are not saying bang, 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 bang. Check it out, till like yeah, yeah, yeah.
Good evening, everybody. Last time we treated HTML, CSS backgrounds, and we treated how you can apply the background color, background image, position, repeat, attachments, and background size. So today we are going to deal with CSS fonts and how we can apply a new page, which was this, I believe. Yes, which was this. And we use this I tag here to put this Anambra state. So what this I tag did was change the font of this Anambra state text to another font that we used. So let's go into CSS fonts and see how we can apply it and how we can use it in our work. So the last time we were working on this demo page that we are going to use. So we are still going to using this page to do our usual test drives and everything. And after this class, we'll integrate what we've learned so far into our about me page, which is this. I remember telling you guys to do a project where you tell me about yourself, things you like doing, and how old you were, and none of you submitted that project till now. But regardless, we are going to continue with it. So let us start. What are CSS fonts? CSS fonts are a property, a CSS property you can use in changing the font style of your text or of an element in an HTML document on your web page. So in CSS fonts, it comes with other properties or other variations. We have the font family, we have the font style, we have the font variant, we have the font weight, the font size, and the actual font. So let us see how we can use that and the type of font styles we have. Okay, so we are going to start with font family. Yeah, so what are font family? Font family is like a group of text, or sorry, a group of font styles that have similar designs, like how you have okay, let's say in a family you have siblings, brothers and sisters. They are all from the same family with the same surname. So it's same thing as in CSS font family. We have various fonts that have similar designs. So let us see how we can incorporate it. So let's make another demo text here and use this for this project. So we start with our paragraph and let's put a demo text. So use, okay, let us save and see if it works. Okay, this is our text here. So our text works. So let's give it a selector. Remember you guys, I told you there are two ways to give a selector to your elements. You can use the ID selector or you can use the class selector. So in this case, we are going to use the class selector for this project. So it's a class. I'm going to call it font family because we are doing the font family class. Then we're going to save. So we are going to go to our CSS, our external CSS, and then we call it here, which is our font family. So let's see if this font family is referred properly. So if you hover over it, you are going to see it here. It says element class font family. So let's give some attributes to it and see if it works properly. So we're going to say color. Let's give it a color of white. And let us see and see if it works. Okay, yeah, it works perfectly fine. So let us go ahead and deal with the fonts and the font family. Okay. So if some of you are familiar with what they call it, Microsoft Word, where you want to change the design of a text and they ask you to select the font style. In some cases, you put what is called Arial, and some you put Boldman. So those are font families you have, and CSS have their own custom or their own built-in font families that you can use without having to refer them externally. So we say font family. Okay, these are the font families that there is in CSS. Are you guys see here? So we are just going to make use of few of them because of our time and everything else. So we use this career. So can you guys see it? These are three different types of fonts, but because they have the same similar design, they are grouped together and called one font family. So now what the browser does is once it's loading this element, it will first of all look for this first font. If this one is not available, it goes ahead to look for the second one. If the second one is not available, it then uses the third one. If three of them are not available, the browser will use the default font that was provided to run the element. So let's go to our web page and see how it looks. Okay, apparently that font was the basic or the default font style that the browser uses also. So let's use another one and see if we have a little bit of change. Okay, let's use indent romans. So when you save, okay, let's go. Okay, can you guys see? It's not much of a change, but if you look closely, you see the way the letter L was displayed. It was quite different from how it was before. So now let's go ahead and deal with font style. In font style, you have the italics, you have underlined, and you have the what is it called, bold. So let's see something in font style. Okay, and then I guys see here you have normal, italic, oblique, shirts, and the rest. So if you use italic and then go back to our browser, can you guys see it now? The whole text is in italic form. So that's pretty much it about the font style. So we are going to go ahead and check what's the next one online. Font variant. I don't think HTML5 supports this option anymore, but we are still going to exploit regardless. So we do font. Please, if you can hear me, drop a text so that I will know that you guys can hear me properly. So I do font variant. You guys see normal, small caps, and the rest. So let's see small caps. So what it's going to do is going to make the text to be small and in capital letter. Can you guys see? You just turn all the text here to capital letter because we use the font variant to be small caps. When you make it to normal, if you change it to normal, it's going to be just normal. So now I'm going to tell you guys about, can you guys see now, it's still normal as it was. So I'm going to tell you guys about this option called inherit. What this inherit does is it takes the font variant of the parent element. For example, now if we came to this body and set the font variant to all small caps, what this one will do, and this E1 and this one, all of them will go ahead and take the attribute of the body because they are all child or children of their parent element, which is the body. So probably it's going to, can you guys see now, all of them are in all caps because they inherited the same element from their parents. Just like how children, you see some of them have the hair color of their mother or of their father. These are generic traits that they inherited from their parents because they both are descendants of the body. So let us delete and continue. So next one is font weight. What font weight does is it makes the text either bolder or less bolder, something like that. So let's see it's an example of how we can use it. So now in font weight, you can give a specific number or how to make the weight to be. So font weight 100 is going to be lesser or less visible than font weight 200. And when you use this bold or bolder or lighter or normal, it's going to affect the text differently. So let's start with 100 and see how it's affecting the text. Can you guys see it's a little bit smaller? And then when we change it to 700, you'll see that the font will be thick. It will be thick and very bold. Can you guys see now? It's much more bolder than how it was when we used 100 attribute. So let's go back to 100 and we'll see the difference. Can you guys see now? So font weight is used to make the text either bolder or heavier. Let's say it makes it heavier for the eye. So in such cases, you use this attribute when you want the user to be fixed on the element or on the text that you're trying to display. So you also use it to tell the user that whatever it is that you're writing in there is important. You need to see it. So you use this font weight to make use of it. So the next one is font size. So font size is used to increase the size of the text. Let's say font size. So font size has its own attribute like large, larger, medium, small, smaller, and extra, extra small and large. So if you make that text to be extra, extra large, excess large, what it's going to do is going to make that text to be way too big for our browser to even display. So we're going to save it and then go to our browser. Now you guys see it made it so large. So that is about font family, font style, font variant, font weight, and font size. So that's it about fonts. So the next one on our work is CSS texts, dealing with CSS text. So let us give a quick copy here. CSS text. So in CSS text, you can set the CSS text with the color. Remember you guys when we did this one here, when we set the color to be white, this is a CSS text attribute white. It's affecting the text to make it a white plain color. Then after that you have text align, or let's say, sorry, you have direction comes first. You have direction. This will specify where your text is situated in your web browser or in your page. Then after that you have letter spacing. Then we have word spacing. I'll show you guys what we all do in a bit. We have text align. We have text indent. You have text decoration. You have text transform. You have white space. Sorry, you have white space. You have text shadow. So this is all there is about text and its attributes. So we are going to deal with them one by one using our font family tab. So first of all, we have already done the text color, which is this we use here, and we made it to be white. So the next one we are going to treat is direction. So let us see what direction does. So when you say, sorry, when you say direction, it's going to show this is right and this is left. So being that our text is much, I think this won't take much effect, but let's see. So what it's going to do is going to start all the text from the left direction. You guys see it here, started all the text from the left direction, and if you make it right, which is this one, it's going to start all the text from the right direction. You guys see here, what it does, it gives a margin either from the left or from the right. So when you use these attributes, the direction is going to give it's going to tell the browser this is where I want all my text started from. So if you use this left, it's going to start all the text from the left side. If you use the right one, it's going to start all the text from the right side. So now we are done with directions. The next one is letter spacing. So what letter spacing does is to give space around each of the alphabets in your whole sentence. So let's see an example. So let's say letter spacing, and in letter spacing you use the normal CSS measurement units to give your measurements. So we have the px, we have the rm, we have the em, we have the bh. So to use it in a smaller scale, we are going to use the px. So we say 3px letter spacing. So what it's going to do is going to add 3px space to each of the alphabets. Can you guys see it here? So let's increase it so it will be more visible, so you actually notice what's going on. So let's take it to 10px. So can you see it now? There is a whole lot of space around each of the text. So the next one is word spacing. What word spacing is going to be space around each of the words. You guys remember one or two texts, two or more texts, two or more alphabets makes a word. So here what is going to do is going to wrap up all these alphabets and make it a word, and then give it a space that we are going to assign to it. So let us cancel this guy, let's comment it out, and then let us do word spacing. Okay, so word spacing, there it is. And then let us give it 10px so you guys will actually notice the changes going on. So like I see here, there is a huge space around each of the text. So after this text, you give a white space of 10px and display the next text. I give another space of 10px and display the next text. So the next one on the line is which one? Then text align. Text align is going to set the text to be, okay, you know what, let's delete some of the text here so that it will be more visible when we do some certain changes. So we're going to start with text align. What text align does is it aligns the text in any side of the element. Let's say this paragraph now has a width of 100%. If we align this text to this center, it's going to bring this text to the center of this paragraph. So let's give this paragraph a border so you guys will actually notice what's going on. So let's say border of 1px solid red, and when we save this, you guys going to see that this guy, how you guys see here, it took a huge space. So now we are going to reduce this font size and make it small, so you guys will actually see when the changes actually happens. Okay, so now we are going to go ahead and do the text align, so you guys will actually see the changes. So we go text align. So in text align, you have end, you have center, you have justify, you have left, right, and start. So when you use start, it's going to start off from the left hand side. So when you do start, it's not going to do any changes, it's going to remain the same. When you use end, it's going to push you to the end of the element, which is at the right hand side. Alright guys, see here, it left where it was before and came at the end of this place. So if you use center, it's going to put it at the center, right here at the center. This case is you usually use it when you want to make a heading or when you want to align. Let's say for example you are putting a page and you are saying hello, my name is blah blah blah, and when you use text center, it's going to bring all of that text to the center of the element. So why I use this border is to show you guys that the paragraph has 100% width, so it's going to contain the whole space in the parent element. So once it's at the center, it's going to bring this to the center. So now when we use justify, it's going to automatically set it to wherever the parent wants it to be. So can you guys see it now? Justify starts at the left because the whole text starts at the left. So the next one should be So I have not treated yet. Okay, we've done end start. So left and right is the same thing as end and start. So when you use left or use right, it's going to align it the same position as when you use a start and end. It's typically the same thing. So that is it about text align. So the next one will be text indent. So let us see what text indent does. So we put it, so text indent. Okay, so in the text indent you are going to use the measurement units like the px, the percent, the em, the cr, and whatnot. So we are going to use px so that we make it on small scale. So we use 10 px, and then let's see how the changes affects our text. Okay, it's not much because we already have that text spacing. So let us increase it to 30 px and see if there is an actual change. Okay, I don't think HTML5 supports text indent anymore. So no longer supports text indent. So sorry about that. So the next one we are going to treat is what is it called? The next one we are going to treat is text decoration. You use this one especially when you are dealing with links. You know, sometimes when you put a link, the links usually by default they come with an underlined text. So you use this text decoration to manipulate the text. In text decoration you have underline, strike through, dash, dotted, and whatnot. So let's see dashed and see how it affects our text. So we're going to remove this guy because we don't need it anymore. So let's comment it out and save. And then let's go back. Okay, and there is no changes here. I don't think it supports dashed anymore. So let's go by underline. Let's do underline. So it's supposed to draw a line underneath. Can you guys see here? It drew a line underneath the whole text. I don't know if you let me zoom in so you guys can actually see it. Okay, you guys see it now? It drew a line underneath the text. And when you use strike through, okay, sorry. When you use line through, what it's going to do is going to draw a line through the text, like it's cancelling it. You guys see a draw line, like when you want to write a text and you want to tell the user that, oh, this guy, don't mind, I'm canceling this text. This is what you use the line through. The next one is dotted. It's going to draw a dotted line underneath the text. Okay, I don't think this browser supports this one too, so it's not going to work based on the HTML5 and stuff. So it's no longer supported. So the next one is text transform. You use this attribute when you want to transform a text either to uppercase or lowercase. So I'm going to show you guys in a bit. So now you have capitalized, you have lowercase, you have uppercase, and whatnot. So when you do capitalize, it's going to capitalize all the text in that way. Can you guys see it? It capitalize the first text, each of them, the first letter of each word gets capitalized. Can you guys see it now? If you've done all of them to uppercase, you use the uppercase, what it's going to do is going to turn all the words to an uppercase words like this. Then if you use lowercase, it's going to turn each of them to lowercase. Okay, I hope you guys see now. This is what text transform does. The next one we are going to treat about the white space. The white space is going to deal with the spaces around each of the word in your text. So sorry, in white space, these are just the options. inherit on sets and whatnot. I don't think HTML5 supports this white space attributes either. So yeah, it doesn't support it. So you will not be using this one for any of your jobs anytime, any day. This guy is no longer supported. So our text decoration plotted. So the next one is text shadow. You know all those text that you see online that has these 3D forms and whatnot, they use text shadow to make use of it. So the text shadow, it uses a color to set and percentage. So let's say we set 3px now and we set it to red. What it's going to do is going to give the text a shadow of 3px with a red color. So let's see. Refresh. I don't know, but for some reason it doesn't support it either. Everything just a mess up. So let us see if it will support just the text color. So it's still not supported in HTML5, and probably you won't be using it. So this is it about the fonts and the texts and how you can manipulate your fonts and how you can manipulate your text. In our next class, we are going to do a real-time job where we are going to work on our index file where we are trying to say something about ourselves. So in our next class, we are going to do something about this guy. Let me post it and you guys will see where we stopped on the project. So let us go to our browser. I'll wait for it to load up. Okay, so this was the work we are doing previously. So we use the text center here to get these two guys done. We use the text decoration here to get this guy underlined. We use the text style to get this guy to be italics. And what we use the font weight to make this guy bold. And that is it. So in our next class, we are going to finish